All right, guys, so we're back with another video, and we're in my new apartment here, new whiteboard setup. So let me know how it goes, and let me know if the lighting is okay. There's a light back here that I turned on once, and it looked kind of weird. So we're gonna leave it like this for now, unless you guys say this is a huge difference between my old one. This one I'm really excited about, though. This book is called The Peaceful Warrior. Okay. The Peaceful Warrior, one of the best books any man can ever read. All right, so let's get straight into it because there's three very, 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 very important points in this one. Number one, there are no, let me see which way, this side or this side. Let me stay on this side. Let me see, okay. Yeah, this side is fine. All right, so there are no ordinary moments. Each moment is special and deserves your full attention. And I want you to really think about this one for a second. There are no ordinary moments. Each moment deserves your full attention and is special. And this is something I've read in books for several years now, but it's so difficult to implement this into your life. For example, like even if something really cool is happening, like let's say, for example, like you're on a beach, like, and there's this like amazing like parade happening or like a fire show or something like that. Just imagine yourself. We tend to, pull our phones out and like capture that moment instead of actually being there to really enjoy it, like being fully present with that moment. A lot of us want to just capture it to show our friends or whatever else. We can't actually fully embrace that that situation. Or let's say, for example, there's, if you're a normal human, just like everyone else, there's multiple hours throughout the day where we're feeling like, where it just feels like you're not really in the present moment because you're thinking about random shit from the past, or you're thinking about random shit from the future, and your mind is kind of like, going that way, going this way, but you can't actually be present and really enjoy, what's happening right then and there. So this is a work in practice because, like I said, I've read this many different times, but I still can't say that I've perfected this or even came close to perfecting this. But when you keep this in the forefront of your mind, I feel like every time I read it for like the next few weeks, it's on my mind. I'm like, okay, let me enjoy every single moment. Let me just like really be grateful for every single second, every single minute throughout the day, and it's just a powerful frame to come from, a powerful perception to have. So always keep that in mind, and don't beat yourself up when you're not perfect about it. Your mind is going to do what it wants to do. Like it's going to go that way. It's going to go this way. It's going to go behind, front. It's going to go everywhere. So you gotta like, even enjoy those moments where your mind is kind of off that way. Just learn to enjoy, everything that comes your way. Okay. Next one. This one is a beautiful one. We're gonna really try to go deep into this one. A fool is happy when his cravings are satisfied. A fool is happy when his cravings are satisfied. A warrior is happy without reason. That's what makes happiness the ultimate discipline. So let's think about this for a second. If you're watching this and you're only happy when your things have gone like right in your life, like the exact things that you wanted have happened, and you're like, that's why I'm happy, because this and this happened, because this and this lined up, because of this and that, that's why I'm happy. That is a fool's game. Okay? That's a fool's game. And it's funny, I'm actually watching, I'm going through a course that actually talks about this now, where it talks about like how to be happy and abundant as a default. Okay? Not because a certain something happened or a certain, you got a certain job or a certain relationship or this, and like your happiness doesn't depend on anything, right? It's just because it's your default. You're happy just because. Everything else is a bonus. Like, that's a very powerful, way to view life. And it says happiness in this book. It describes happiness as the ultimate discipline. A warrior is happy without reason. So as your default, you're just happy. So whatever else comes into your life that could be, by others considered like external happiness. Let's say you get a lot of success. Let's say you have a lot of friends, you have great relationships, whatever those are viewed upon as bonuses. They're just bonuses because you're already happy as a default. And in Tony Robbins seminars, he talks about this as well, where he makes everybody write down, like, dig into your mind, what makes you happy. Write down all the things that make you happy. And then everyone writes it down. Okay, I'm happy when, this person compliments me. I'm happy when, when this and this happens, when I achieve, this amount of money, or I'm happy when, my parents are in town and we talk, and whatever it is. Like, it doesn't matter what it is. Everyone writes it down. And at the end, he explains to everyone, listen, you can't put barriers behind your feeling of happiness, okay? So all those things, you're dependent on your parents. You're dependent on your external financial success. You're dependent on somebody giving you like whatever it is, right? Those are all external, things that are not in your control. So basically what you're saying, when you're writing those things down, these are the things that make me happy. You're saying that my happiness is out of my control, and it's in the control of this person, this circumstance, that external thing. You're basically saying that your happiness is all out there, and other people are pulling the strings and are in control of your happiness. So instead, he encourages us to replace those old, I'll be happy if this, that, or whatever happens, to replace those with things that are in 100% in your control. So you put down things like, for example, I'm happy when I wake up in the morning. Something that simple, right? Just waking up in the morning makes me happy. I'm happy whenever I realize that, I'm in the present moment. Again, something that's completely under my control. I'm happy when I breathe. As simple as breathing, right? We take it for granted, like that we can breathe. Breathing is a wonderful thing. Just if we all just take a second to breathe, you decide, like, I'm happy when I breathe. Okay, my happiness is not dependent on anything out there. It's dependent on me, right? And I'm happy just because there's nothing that needs to happen for me to be happy. It's a very empowering mindset and perception of life, to come with. And then everything else that comes into your life is just abundance, and it's just a bonus. Like I said, it's really just a cherry on top. Like, you're not treating other things that are outside of yourself as the cake. They're just cherries. Okay, so just think about that one. So we'll get into this last one here. Okay, act happy, be happy without a reason in the world. Then you are free to love and do what you will. Act happy, be happy without a reason in the world. Nothing. Just as a default. And then from there, those feelings of abundance and freedom and these things just come up. You're just like, wow, I'm already so complete and fulfilled with nothing happening. Just as a default. Just because. Okay? Think about that. We're all kind of conditioned and wired to, like, achieve a certain something to be happy, to have a certain relationship and then I'll be happy. Or if I live in a certain place, I'll be happy. If I have this kind of apartment, I'll be happy. If I'm around these kind of people, then I'll be happy. We're all conditioned to believe all these lies, right? And it's funny because, I talk about my journey a lot on this channel. And my journey was like, I did make a lot of money. I did have, relationships that I wanted. Like, I had all these things, but then I was like, shit, like, that didn't work, right? It didn't work. And that's when I started going through a little bit of a panic in my life, in my early to mid 20s, where I was just like so confused. I was like, I have all these things that I thought would make me happy, And it didn't work because internally I wasn't happy. I had to just make those internal shifts, right? And you can't make an internal shift, unfortunately, in a 10-minute YouTube video. You got to go to, you got to do some heavy personal development work, right? I'm giving you the answers here, and unfortunately, the answers are not enough. You have to go through the actual process of doing this yourself. Going through for me personally, like that's the way I learned. Is like I went through all these things. I'm like, oh, these are all the things that are gonna make me happy. I achieved certain milestones and this and that. I'm like, oh, these are the things that are gonna make me happy, and it didn't work. So I seeked out more help. I started reading a lot more books. I went to 150 hours of Tony Robbins seminars that he just engraves it into your mind, and he just kind of helps you understand what it is that actually you personally, like, how will you be able to allow yourself, I say allow yourself, to feel happiness and gratitude and positive emotions as your dominant emotions throughout your daily life? How do you restructure your brain? Because we've all, like I said, we've all been conditioned to put happiness behind these walls, behind that wall. There's my happiness. I got to go get it. I got to go this way for the happiness. I got to go that way. I got to go that way. We're all conditioned to think that, the abundance and the happiness is out there. So we're always reaching. We're always reaching for something. When you stop reaching and you realize that the happiness and abundance is already here. Okay, this is something you realize through a lot of personal development work, not through this video. I'm not telling you you're going to realize this through this video. Okay? You do all the work and you realize, wait a second, it's already here. It's already here. I have everything, right? Because there's another example, I give people is that something that people don't keep in mind. Let's say, for example, you're watching this video, if I ask you a question, would you sell both of your arms for, let's say, $5 billion? Would you sell your legs for $1 billion? Would you sell your eyes for $1 billion? Right? Think about that. Think about those things. Would you sell these body parts for $1 billion? So I'm imagining, at some point, you said no. So maybe some people are like, yeah, I'd sell my arms, but your arms, legs, your eyes, you're not selling all that stuff. Okay, you're just not doing it. And I guarantee it. So in this, people watching the videos, nobody's going to do all three of those things. It's impossible. So as a default, not because I told you, right? Not because I told you, but you yourself have valued yourself, your own body, your heart. Would you sell your heart, your breathing system, your life for a couple billion? No, you wouldn't. Okay? So we ourselves, for whoever's watching this video, we're already valuing ourselves as multi-billionaires, right? You yourself, I didn't tell you that. I just asked you a couple questions. Would you sell your arms, your legs, your eyes, your heart for billions of dollars? No, you wouldn't. So you're already a multi-billionaire, okay? Let that sink in. And let that sink in as to how much you take that for granted every single day. That you're a multi-billionaire. Like if you started carrying yourself around like you're a multi-billionaire just because you're in the flesh, right? How different would life be? How different would you carry yourself? How different would you view all these external things? You're like, oh yeah, these things are cool, but they're not going to bring me any more. I already have everything that I need right here. I already have everything. Anything else is just a bonus. And it's a great bonus. You should go after those bonuses too. But you shouldn't be like, oh my God, I need this to feel complete and happy and this and that, because that's where it becomes, just a toxic kind of approach where you're just like, I need these things to feel a certain way. No, you can feel that certain way without anything. Just if you bring yourself back within yourself and you're like, God, I'm so lucky to be alive, to be breathing every single day, to be a human, right? To have life. Like, even just like turning on a television. Like, we take things like that for granted. Like, oh, we can watch TV and there's so many different entertainment channels. Like, there's so many different things, right? So, so just to, you know, take anything away from this video, just view that I want you to change your perception at least a little bit. I understand this is not going to happen in a 15-minute YouTube video, but like, to change your perception in terms of, you know, that happiness is not out there. You can try. Listen, you can try. I'm telling you, you can try. And those things that you achieve, like, they will bring you a little bit of happiness, but it's short-lived, right? It's short-lived happiness. Like, they'll give you like a spike in happiness, but then you'll just eventually just come back down to where, you know, your default is. And like, you'll be like, okay, well, then I gotta achieve the next thing, then I gotta get the next thing, then I gotta get the next thing, then I gotta get the next thing. And this is, you know, a cycle that will continue until you realize that those things that you're actually reaching out for, while they are important, right? Goals and stuff, they're all very important, but you know, they're not as important to your overall well-being and happiness as compared to realizing that you're already there. Okay, realizing that you're already happy as a default. Okay, as a default, even if you don't achieve those goals, even if you don't do this and that, you are already happy. Okay, and happiness is the ultimate discipline. And we can train ourselves, we can train our minds to feel more happy and more positive emotions throughout the day. I'm living proof of that. You know, 5, 7, 8 years ago, I used to, you know, not have as many, you know, positive emotions throughout my day. Like, a lot of my day was like a lot of anxiety, and like, you know, when I was younger, there was like depression, anxiety, panic attacks, and all. Those are my dominant emotions. And now, you know, it's quite rare for me to feel those negative emotions. I do get there because I am a human, but I just don't stay there. That's the key, right? Like, I get to those bottom emotions. You know, I get to the fear, I get to the guilt, and like some of those, you know, lower vibration energies. Like, I do get to those lower emotions, but I just don't stay there, right? In the past, I used to stay in those emotions for weeks, months, okay? In some occasions, like a year, 2 years, like, where I'm just like stuck in those emotions. Now they come, and I simply allow them to pass through my body. I let them go because I've trained my mind to understand how to let go of these, you know, negative emotions and come back to a feeling of gratitude or neutrality or courage or you know, having a higher vibration energy. So that's how I know it's possible. You know, this is not something I'm just spitting out of my ass where I'm just like, oh, you guys should do it, but I can't do it. I'm telling you that this is something that I've done in my life, okay? And, you know, believe it, like, some people don't believe it when I tell them, but this is something, even something as simple as, you know, creating a YouTube video, you know, 20 minutes YouTube video, just talking without any edits and without, you know, feeling flooded with fear in front of a camera, was something I couldn't see myself doing as little as like 4 years ago, 5 years ago, maybe 6 years ago, something like that. You know, I couldn't see myself doing something like this. And it's proof that you don't have to like get yourself into this box where, you know, you feel this fear and you let the fear run you, you know. So anyways, I'm going off on a bit of a rant here. I'm definitely, you know, going off on a bit of a rant here, but take one thing from this video is understand that you can change your perception. And I'm sure at certain points while you're watching this video, you probably did have a good feeling because you're like, wow, this makes sense. You know, I could change my perception and it could possibly change everything. And it can. And it can. If you continue to bring yourself back to the perception, it really can. But again, I don't think that it's possible over a 20-minute video. That's my opinion. I think you'll watch this video, you'll feel good, but then eventually you'll slip back. I do think it's necessary to get into reading a lot of books on the brain, going to seminars, 150 hours of immersion, things like that will really hijack your brain into happiness as a default, and like positivity and things like that. So highly encourage you guys to get into the world of self-development, get into the world of learning about the brain and stuff like that. I'm a nerd with the brain. I love learning about the brain and like why we do certain things. It's just a topic for me that I don't know. I don't really understand fully as to why I'm so intrigued by it. But I just am. I really just am. I think it's just fascinating. How little, like 99% of humans understand about the brain, and like how we can actually learn about the brain and better our lives. Because our lives, if we look at our lives, like what is it that makes a good life is your quality of emotions on a daily basis. Okay, so if you have good emotions on a daily basis, most of your emotions throughout the day, throughout your week, throughout your month, throughout your years in life are positive and high vibration, like love and like peace and joy. And like if you feel those emotions, you've had a good life. Regardless of if you've got those emotions from, just sitting in a room meditating like a monk, doing nothing, like whatever, like there's certain things that whatever makes you happy is what makes you happy, right? Some people can get those kind of emotions like joy and peace just from living a very simple lifestyle, a very simple, peaceful lifestyle. And for some people, they think, whereas illusion, they think they have to get these emotions from like doing all these different things. This is the illusion of life, where like they're like, I have to do all these things, otherwise I can't feel this way. But anyways, we're getting into more of a rant. We're gonna cut this video off here. I hope you guys enjoyed the bulk of this information plus the rant. I'm gonna probably make a couple more videos today as well, because I'm feeling in that mood to produce some content. And if you guys enjoyed it, drop a like on the video. I really appreciate when you guys like the video, so drop a like on the video. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. Drop a comment if you want to discuss this topic even more. Something maybe personal in your life, or maybe just, something that I said that you disagree with. Drop it in the comments. Let's talk about it. And I'll see you guys in the next video.